Listening to that is our Police Minister, Ginny Andersen, who's here in studio. Kia ora. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. Is there anything that could have been done from the government side to stop this event?
Oh, well, thanks, Jack. First of all, I really need to acknowledge the victims of today. Two people went to work this morning and did not come home. So those people who have lost a loved one today, I just like to acknowledge that loss. And for all those people around who were there and witnesses of this tragic event in Auckland. So that's my first thoughts with that. And secondly, I just have to mention the absolute bravery of our police service who went into an incredibly dangerous situation, and their actions today no doubt saved lives.
Police, justice, corrections, when you consider the roles of those ministries and the management of this young man, is there anything that could have been done to stop this event? It's
far too early to be able to say that today. Today, all those organisations will be undertaking a full review of exactly what happened here to particularly understand if there were any flags that were missed. So on top of the police investigation, I've met with the Police Commissioner and the Prime Minister today here in Auckland. There will be a thorough investigation from police, but also I understand that corrections will also be undertaking a full review of what went on in the management.
And an umbrella investigation?
On top of that, the police, I've heard from the Prime Minister's office that the Prime Minister will be engaging the Department of Cabinet and Prime Minister, DPMC, to undertake another overarching review over all of those things to make sure we really look and see if there's any flags that have been missed in this particular case.
Are you personally surprised that someone who has been recently convicted of serious domestic violence charges is not in prison?
It's just far too early, Jack, to be able to understand all of the details of this case. I just don't have that information in order to weigh that up and make a good judgment. Today is really about acknowledging that loss, and we just start the process of a thorough investigation to understand why this happened. But there are questions around how this person got a gun. We have a really rigorous process here in New Zealand, so I personally want to understand how that individual got his hands on a weapon.
Was the gun registered?
No, it was not.
It was not registered?
He did not have a license. So the way we work now is with the new gun registry, which has been stood up since the end of June, that there is a requirement for that person to register the weapon, and that I understand it was not.
So just to be 100% clear, the weapon wasn't registered. We understand he didn't have a license.
There was not a license. So there's a requirement for you to register your weapon. There was not a license, from what I understand.
So hang on, the gun wasn't licensed, or he wasn't licensed? Because we understand he wasn't licensed.
I would have to check that. I understand that there was not a licence for the weapon, so it was not. He did not have a legal possession of that weapon.
What do you say to New Zealanders who feel like this is just the latest in a series of incidents that demonstrate our society is unsafe under your government?
Look, I acknowledge that it is a really sad and shocking situation, but I think we have to remember that we had a police service who were on site within 11 minutes of a call being made. We had police officers go in the face of danger, and we had them secure a site in the central of Auckland in minutes. You know, the work done today by our police service, using Eagle, using AOS, using all of those special services, did the job they were exactly meant to do, and they minimised the harm to our community.
But here's
today.
The thing, they might not have had to do that work if this person was in prison.
It's far too early, Jack, for us to be making, for me to be able to make a judgment on those circumstances. That is exactly the nature and the requirement of the full investigation. We need that information to be able to make that determination.
Have you had any update on the condition of the officer who was injured today?
All I know from the Commissioner of Police is that he is in hospital. He will be in there for some days, and he is recovering.
All right. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. That is Police Minister Ginny Andersen.